Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about the Brittany Dawn situation. I need to place a massive trigger warning in the very beginning of this video. I'm going to be discussing a dog that lost its life at the hands of his owners. I'm also going to be talking about the mistreatment of a dog as well as police brutality. And it's going to be a heavy video, but if you are able, please keep watching. If you are not, I completely understand as always, but I want to put a full disclaimer in the beginning of this video so you know what you're in for. If you are able and you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so the way this video is going to go is I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of the history about Brittany Dawn, some of the issues that she's gotten herself into leading up to this point, and then we're going to look at what happened with her sweet dog, Brodie. First, we're going to look at the story that she put out on Instagram. I'm going to finish with what she put out on YouTube, and then at the end, I will give my final thoughts and overall opinions based on everything that is going to be discussed in this video. So, Brittany Dawn, the first time that I heard of her was a couple of years ago when she got into a situation where she was caught scamming fans and subscribers out of money for tailored fitness plans, and she was going to be telling people how to track their macros, and this is a very very tailored experience if you are into fitness to be able to track your macros and have a really good meal plan. It's very tailored to each individual person. What I need for my personal fitness goals is going to be different than what you need, and you can have two people that are you know, kind of on the same path, but they might still need different things swapped out based on what their goals are. It can be very complex, and this is what she was offering people. So Brittany's real name is Brittany Davis. She does go by Brittany Dawn on social media, but her name is Brittany Davis. She is based in Texas, and she at one point in time considered herself a workout guru, a fitness influencer, whatever you want to tag her as, that's fine. She had a really healthy following, and a lot of people really liked her. So she did what a lot of other influencers do, and she capitalized on this by not only counting on the AdSense money and sponsorships and brand deals that she was getting, she decided to add another avenue into how she could build her bottom line, and she decided that she would take this fitness guru title that she had and offer these meal plans and macros tracking to her subscribers. The plans that she was offering to people would go up to $300, and let's just stop right there for a second. That is a lot of money. Now, maybe to not everyone that's a lot of money, but to me, to spend $300 that I don't necessarily have just laying around, I have to have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in who I'm giving that to. So to not only have people giving her money based on trust and based on that parasocial relationship that a lot of influencers build with their subscribers, then you're going to completely take advantage of it and not give them what they signed up for. And essentially what happened, it all started to crumble down when she started deleting criticism and complaints from customers and subscribers. There was a Facebook group created so that people there could start comparing stories and comparing notes. And what ended up being found out is that her little personal interactions were the same for every single person. She was not checking in. A lot of the meal plans were the exact same for every single person, even though their specific needs were definitely different. Everything was given the same to everybody, and it was a complete scam. So that is when her following started to crumble. The trust was definitely broken. And since then, she's gone from fitness guru to false prophet, in my personal opinion. She is someone who sells worship as, her meal ticket. Like, she is pushing purity culture on young women, which, let's all pause right there. Purity culture is extremely dangerous for young people, all people in general, but especially for young women, because young women are expected to buy into purity culture when it's not as pushed on men. It still is pushed on men, but you guys know what I mean. If you're familiar with purity culture, it's extremely toxic and extremely dangerous to people that are following in that role. So aside from scamming fans, she also has definitely preyed upon people who have suffered with EDs in the past, and then more recently become a spiritual scammer. I don't know what you would call that. I think it's a total sham when these influencers make Christianity such a core part of what they're selling. It's one thing to have that be your personal beliefs, but when you attach it to a price tag and start to sell it, huge full stop for me personally. But if you guys have watched my videos, you can pretty much gauge how I feel about that. Now, I don't want to have this be a history lesson because we need to get down to the nitty-gritty. I am so appalled, so disgusted, and so outraged at Brittany Dawn right now. I don't even think that she would be someone that I could look in their eyes, because I think that she is pure evil. And I think that she absolutely needs to be held accountable for this. Now, before I share the exact event that happened that has me so fired up about Brittany Dawn, I want to give you just a little bit of info about her current husband. His name is Jordan. And I think that once you know a little bit about him, the events that I'm going to explain to you might make a little bit more sense. His full name is Jordan Nelson. So he is an ex-police officer in Kansas City. I'm not going to show the clip because it is absolutely just like, it will rip your heart out and stomp it on the ground. And it's just too much. I watched it once and I cannot stomach it again. I'll leave a link in my description box if you are interested in seeing it, but fair warning, it is a lot to witness and it's very heartbreaking. Her husband, in December of 2013, decided to throw a man named Joshua Bills down face first onto concrete, and a lawsuit was filed in federal court by the ACLU of Missouri on behalf of Bills' names Kansas City Police Department officer as a defendant. So he's a former cop that likes to get physical with black men and slam them into the concrete. So if that tells you anything about his character and his biological makeup or lack thereof, I think that it's completely disgusting. And in my opinion, I think it also reflects on Brittany Dawn to say that she is actually marrying this man. How can you marry somebody that would do such a thing to another human being? Well, I think it'll all make a little bit more sense once I explain the events that unfolded over the last couple of days. If you're getting the picture here, I hope that you guys are. Brittany Dawn is a sham. Her preaching the gospel and wanting to be just this pure little angel who is the picture perfect influencer, it's all been exposed. She's a money hungry, greedy animal abuser who has married a racist ex-cop, in my opinion, allegedly. 2 days ago, she put up this thing on Instagram and it says, "My heart is shattered. My whole world flipped upside down tonight. This is the hardest post I've ever had to make, and I'm doing it crying in Jordan's arms." We ran to Lowe's for 45 minutes and headed back. As we turned down our street, I saw Brodie in the street. I was shocked he was out until I realized he wasn't standing and he wasn't moving. I jumped out of the truck before Jordan could even stop and just collapsed when I processed what was happening. My heart feels like it's in a million pieces right now. I would never wish this feeling on anyone. Brodie, you were my best little buddy. The dog that picked up when I was going to have a panic attack. She talks about puppuccinos. I'm not going to voice this bullshit because I think that it is absolute nonsense. I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. Now, when you go over to her YouTube channel, the story that she tells over there is quite different.
It's going to be the shortest video that I've ever made on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to try to do it without breaking down completely. Yesterday, Jordan and I had to run to Lowe's. We had to run to Home Depot. I don't even remember which one, Lowe's. And we were just having to run some errands, and I left the pups out because usually they're fine as long as they are not out for, like, you know, throughout the night. And so they never get out. Like, Remington goes adventuring, but the road, running up to the road, has never been an issue for them. And yesterday we came home.
In this video, she admits that she actually left the dogs outside. This was not some kind of a mystery, like, why is my dog outside of the house? Why is he outside of the gate? Why is he in the road? Why did he get hit by a car? Here, she definitely says that she leaves her dogs out as long as it's not at nighttime. And historically, the dogs have never gone into the road. Well, let me tell you something about dogs that don't go into the road. There is not a 110% guarantee that if you leave your dog off a lead, that dog is always going to stay out of the road. You never know what's going to grab a dog's attention. For the fact that that dog was outside when she and her stupid ass husband were not even at home makes my blood boil. Now, y'all might know I'm not a big advocate of having dogs just running loose. Even the most highly trained dogs, you just never know. You should never put your full trust in a dog that is off a lead, especially if you're close to a road. Even if it's residential, it doesn't matter. A car could come down the road at 15 or 20 miles an hour, and if it hits a dog, that dog could easily lose its life. So why take the gamble? If you're not in a fenced-in area, my personal opinion is just keep the dog on a lead, get a retractable lead so that he has a little bit of run, space or whatever. I'm just not a big advocate to put that much trust into dogs, even if they are highly trained and listen 99 times out of 100. I am not a gambling person, and I am not going to put my dog's life in that 1 out of 100 chance.
After we got the stuff we needed at Lowe's, and turned to the corner onto our street, and I thought I saw Brodie the closer we got to our driveway, but I was like, that's weird, like, why would he be out now? And then I realized it was Brodie, and I realized he wasn't moving and he wasn't standing, and so I jumped out of the truck, and Jordan didn't even have a chance to realize what was going on, and I just bailed out of his truck and started running towards Brodie, and I just wish I could unsee what I had to see. He got hit so hard, and there was no saving him. It was so bad. I was a vet tech for 5 years. Nothing.
So she says, there was no saving him. I was a vet tech for 5 years. You're not a doctor. You are not a qualified professional to make that decision. So, in my opinion, what should have happened here is you immediately pick the dog up, put the dog in the truck, and you haul ass to the emergency vet. Without a question. You don't take 10 minutes to stand in the road with the dog and see what's going on and assess the situation. You immediately pick the dog up and get him to urgent care so that someone that is qualified can actually look at this dog, assess the situation, and they can tell you whether or not there's no helping him. I have seen some miraculous cases of dogs that were injured and they get the right treatment, and they might have to stay in the animal hospital for 3 days, 5 days, maybe even a little bit longer. But to me, that time and that investment and that money is worth it to know that I gave my dog a second chance.
It prepares you for having to see your own dog go through that, and I just collapsed, and thank the Lord no one was driving around that corner, because I didn't care. Like, I wasn't even paying attention. It was just like me, and I just wanted my dog back, and these other men pulled over and blocked the road off.
She likes to thank the Lord for a lot of things that have nothing to do with the Lord. This is something that she has a a long-standing pattern of doing. The most random things, she'll say that it's because of the Lord. She'll also put herself up on a pedestal because she will say that because of listening to the gospel and living the way that she lives, for some reason she gets certain things out of life that other people don't get. And that is, one of the many parts of the spiritual influencer culture that I can't stand, is that there are a lot of other people that are listening to the gospel and, reading their Bible and praying and talking to their God, whoever their God is, and they have a really unfortunate life all of the time. So just because you read your Bible and you pray and you listen to gospel, that does not equate to you deserving a better life than the person next to you.
And Jordan chased me. He parked his car, chased me, and just grabbed me before I collapsed on the ground, and then took me inside, and I just miss Brodie.
So why all of this time they're running around chasing each other, wasting precious minutes, when immediately the dog should have been on its way to the emergency vet hospital and been getting care as soon as possible?
He was still breathing. And poor Jordan, he had to rush me inside while the other two men watched to make sure no one else came. And
so you made the decision, because you were a vet tech for a few years, that there was no helping this dog, even though you just stated the fact that the dog was still breathing. And you chose to not put him in a vehicle and take him immediately to be seen by an actual vet.
Once I was inside, all I heard, I knew what was about to happen. And Jordan, all I heard was this truck rev its engine so loud from the bedroom I could hear it. And I know that's when the gunshot went off, and poor Jordan had to do that for Brodie so that he wouldn't suffer.
So this is the part where I just completely lose any amount of class that I might have given her, any amount of grace. You could have made that decision. Nobody was holding you back. You could have said, we're taking Brodie to the vet right now. I'm going to take charge of this situation. I'm not going to allow this dude, who, sure, he might be my husband, who the f cares at this point? I'm going to allow him to shoot my dog, to put him out of his misery. Now, let's rewind a little bit and go back to Nikki and Dan Philippi. Now, when Dan said that he wanted to take Bowser in the backyard, and I forget what he said verbatim, something about old Yeller him, the internet completely lost their shit. So I am very interested to see what people do with Brittany Dawn and her pig of a husband, because he actually did do that. And she stayed inside the house and let it happen. She let it happen. It was both of their negligence for leaving the dogs outside. If you're not at home, dogs should be inside. Bare minimum, they need to be inside a fenced-in yard. Bare minimum. They should really be in the house. If you have your dog's best interest front and center, that dog should be protected when you're not around to keep an eye on things. So that was mistake number one. Mistake number two was her looking at her dog suffering and making the quick decision that there was no helping him, even though the dog was still breathing. So instead of picking her dog up and taking it to get medical care so that that dog's life could be saved, her husband put her inside, revved up a truck, and literally the dog. Now, I was really interested in the legal part of this, because this just seems illegal to me in my personal opinion, and no, I'm not an attorney, but this entire situation seems so wrong. In the state of Texas, you are only able to kill a dog in self-defense. Brodie was in the road, breathing, but not able to do anything for himself. So there is no chance that this falls under self-defense. This is an owner who was negligent, and for whatever reason, instead of getting that dog in the truck and hauling ass over to a doctor who was qualified to actually give this dog help, that dog was laying in the road and saw one of its owners with a gun in his face, literally killing the dog. In my opinion, Brittany and her husband do not deserve to be animal owners. Point blank, period. People like this disgust me. And they are both monsters. They both deserve to be canceled. Brittany Dawn specifically, in my opinion, no longer deserves to be financially successful online. She has shown her pattern of behavior. She has shown that she is money hungry, and now she's just a piece of shit. I looked back on her YouTube, and she has had other dogs as well, and she had a really cute gray pit bull. I don't know what happened to that dog. She said that the dog was at training because she wasn't clicking with the dog, but I never saw the dog again, at least in the videos that I went through. So I'm curious if, you know, maybe she's had a record of being a terrible dog owner. To close out this video, my heart crumbles and is in pieces for sweet Brodie. I hope that where he is now is much better than where he was when he was on this earth. He deserved a lot more. He did not deserve to be failed by his owners, and it just rips my heart right out of my chest. On top of Brittany Dawn no longer being financially successful online, I would also like to see legal ramifications for this, because it was actually illegal what they did. Based on what I have seen, and this clearly doesn't fall under self-defense, so there has to be something here where he's gonna pay for literally a dog that was not in self-defense. They're both gross, they're both monsters, and I realize people hate cancel culture, but cancel Brittany Dawn. For now, if you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment, and if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.